Call to order the December 11th meeting of the Cary Town Council. And at this time, I'll recognize Councilmember Craig for our ceremonial opening.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight, as we open our meeting, I wanted to take a moment, a time to recognize a very special moment for our community. Every year, the town of Cary proudly presents the Hometown Spirit Award. This is an honor that celebrates residents who go above and beyond to enrich the quality of life in our town by preserving tradition, promoting community values, and demonstrating unwavering commitment to their neighbors and our shared way of life. So we did this honor last month. There was a ceremony, and this year's finalists, they really embody the best of what it means to be Cary. Their leaders leading with their heart, generosity, and purpose. And so there were 3 nominees. Matthew Gronke, I'll say just a few words about each. His passion for community connection was visible in his work with the Cary Free Bicycle Project, giving bikes to local residents, supporting trail stewardship, and spreading joy throughout the community. The second nominee was Nancy Haywood, who shines as an inspiring example of service above self through her leadership throughout Cary in the Cary Rotary Club, the Kildare Rotary Club, mentorship of youth, and countless hours supporting local nonprofits and families in need. And the third nominee was Carla Michaels, a lifelong Cary resident whose dedication to historic preservation has brought our town's past to life through walking tours, research, advocacy, and countless volunteer hours, sharing the stories that stitch together Cary's rich heritage. So tonight, just one additional time for the public to congratulate all 3 finalists for their remarkable contributions. And we honored this year's Hometown Spirit Award recipient was Carla Michaels. And so we just, her work reminds us that by celebrating where we come from and caring deeply for one another, we strengthen the bonds that make Cary more than just a place to live, but a place to belong. And so again, please join me in thanking Matthew, Nancy, and Carla for their service and in celebrating the spirit they bring to the community, and congratulations to Carla. And at this time, would you please join me in standing for the pledge?
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ms. Craig. We now move to the portion of adopting the agenda. Staff has requested to add the approval of the November 18th and November 20th minutes to the consent agenda. I would entertain a motion to adopt the amended agenda.
So moved.
There's a motion.
A second.
And a second. Discussion. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. That takes us to recognitions, reports, and presentations. And at this time, I'll recognize Councilmember Bonsall for a quick recognition.
Tonight we are honored to recognize our very own Virginia Johnson, our town clerk, who has served the town of Cary since 2013 and has been our town clerk since 2016 for the Central Pines Regional Council Board Evergreen Excellence Award. This award is given to one individual every year in recognition of outstanding accomplishments and for demonstrating dedication, innovation, and a positive impact in the community. Virginia embodies all of these qualities. She has strengthened Cary's presence across the region, building partnerships and relationships that help us move forward together. Virginia, thank you for your service. It's weird to say Virginia. Ginny, thank you for your service, your steady guidance, and your unwavering commitment to this organization and our residents. We are truly grateful. Thank you.
We have the best clerk, just saying. All right, now we'll turn it over for the manager's update. I'll recognize Deputy Town Manager Russ Overton.
Thank you, Mayor. Good to see you all again. The second time today already, and the third time this week, but who's counting? In addition to our meetings and work sessions that all of us have had, especially council, we've all been very busy attending holiday events, and there are a lot of them. From the Christmas tree lighting to the menorah lighting to Kwanzaa, there's so many good things happening in Cary. And then sometimes we get to sprinkle in an even unexpected show this week snow this week.
You're going to perform?
And that's all against the backdrop of the beautiful holiday decorations that took weeks to deploy, while the garbage and recycling and yard waste and all the normal services that we run continue to get collected and operate on. I bring all this up because our staff and contractors are all doing amazing work and jobs to make sure everything runs very smoothly each day. I know, Mayor, you and council have joined me in thanking the staff and the people who do these things and the time that they spend away from their families. And that creates a wonderful place in Cary and wonderful memories for all the people that visit Cary. So that's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Russ. And we do have the best public works staff. Gosh, we got the best of everything. All right. We now move to Public Speaks Out. We've included instructions for speaking at this forum online and on the printed agenda. There were 3 opportunities to participate in Public Speaks Out: through written comments, by calling in, or by attending here in person tonight. And if you are here in person and would like to speak, I would ask that you please take a seat in the rows to my right that are highlighted. Public Speaks Out speakers have 3 minutes each for their comments, and you may speak on any town-related topic as long as it's not a public hearing. The 3-minute time limit will be enforced, not to be rude, but to be fair to all of our speakers. There's a timer on the podium. It'll start off with a green light. When it turns to yellow, that means you have 30 seconds remaining. And when it starts flashing red, that means your time has expired, and that's the point I'll interrupt you, not trying to be rude, but to be fair to all of our speakers. I would ask that speakers be respectful in their comments, direct those comments to the entire council, not to an individual. I thank everyone in the audience for understanding and respecting that this is a business meeting. Do not applaud, make remarks from your seats, use props, or do anything else that may distract from this business meeting. So now is the time for Public Speaks Out, and I'll first call on our clerk to read any written comments and call on any registered speakers.
We have 2 written comments and 2 registered speakers. Our written comments, Jordan Odell, a former employee, expresses support for Town Manager Sean Stiegel, also noting that he does not know Sean and never had a conversation with Sean. They also thank local public safety personnel and the mayor for their service and emphasize the pride in the town of Cary. Greg Naclero expresses concerns about the circumstances surrounding tuition reimbursement and calls for greater transparency and accountability, including an independent audit. They urge the council to address what they see as a problematic environment and to consider adopting term limits to restore public confidence.
Thank you. Do you have any registered speakers?
Yes. Our first registered speaker is Jeff Pierce, and the second registered speaker is Renee Miller.
Move to your left, please.
Move to this one.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. I am Jeff Pierce. My brothers and I have a 3rd-generation farm on Pierce Olive Road in Apex. We are trying to develop a portion of the farm for a 55 and over residential community. We have had extreme trouble getting the sewer easement. To go back a few years, Cary put in their main sewer line behind our property. 15 years ago, Cary and Holly Springs annexed our property and used our Pierce Olive Road to divide our farm in half. So we are trying to develop 25 acres on the Cary side. We had a developer that was in the works and backed out in 2021 because he could not make this utility connection. We have another developer now that's trying to put in the 55 and over community. They're limited by the number of lots they can put in, which is 55 lots. And the sewer easement is 300 feet from our back property line and downhill. The current property owners have been very hard to deal with. They've had little to no communication with the developer or us since we've started this process. The developer has had 22 extensions to our deal, 2.5 years of trying to communicate with these folks, and we've come to no resolution. It's still just the same as it was in the beginning. The developer explored putting in a pumping station, which would have pumped the waste 1 mile up the road and then back down into the same sewer line for $2.1 million. Because of 55 lots, they can't afford to do that. And we're asking you guys to encourage the town to enact quick action, eminent domain, so we can move forward with this if we don't have an answer by February 1st on the sewer easement. The current developers are going to back out. We'd like to develop much more of our property on that side, but right now, the land value is just a fraction of what it would be worth if we can make that connection, because now we can use it really for nothing, and we would appreciate your help. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pierce. Make sure you leave your name and connection information so that staff can get in touch. Thank you.
Our next registered speaker is Renee Miller.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I did not actually intend to attend this meeting this evening, but recent events have compelled me to do so. The citizens of Cary cannot trust their council. The mayor spoke on Tuesday night at the work session about trust. He said, "You have to trust each other on the council so that the staff and citizens will trust you." With all that has happened in the last few weeks, it should be impossible for you to trust each other. Clearly, we citizens cannot trust you, nor should we. How could you allow the things that are coming out in the press? Why did it take outside information requests to uncover malfeasance, policy violations, and lies? First, the town manager was placed on leave. Then a councilwoman received reimbursements for which she was not eligible in an amount that is nearly 4 times her annual stipend, and then expected a free pass when she paid it back. Today, more egregious spending by the town manager. What will come out tomorrow? Who else might be implicated? It's time for the council to exercise its oversight responsibility. Because the council cannot be trusted, an outside organization needs to conduct a full forensic audit of our town's books and records. Citizens should not settle for less. We need to be sure that every bit of these issues is cleaned out. Both those who committed these acts and those who approved or failed to report it need to go. In October, I said that spending and management issues were about the public trust, and they are. You, council, have lost that. Take the first step to regain it. Be serious and clean the whole house as soon as possible. I hope that Cary's citizens will get to see that you have better in you than what we've seen lately. Our town deserves to know that it is not being cheated and that our tax dollars are being spent properly. There are those in the audience who I believe agree with me, and I ask that they stand quietly with me at this time. Thank you. We elected our council to do the whole job, not just the fun part. I urge you to clean out this mess for the health of our town and the integrity of our council. Thank you.
No additional registered speakers.
If you're here in the audience who would like to speak on any topic that's not a public hearing, now's your opportunity.
Good evening, Council. Earlier this year, we
Could you
had
state
about...
your name, please?
Sure, Sally Spencer.
Thank you.
Earlier this year, we had about 50 people here speaking out against the Waverly rezoning. After the vote was approved, I found out through a concerned citizen that the individual who represented District C said that the council had already made up their minds about how they were going to vote even before any of the meetings took place. Now we find out about this payment for Lori Bush's MBA and its
Please
funding.
direct your comments to the entire council,
Okay.
not to an individual. Thank you.
I am. Now we find out about the payments for the council members' MBA funded by the town. How can we trust town council going forward? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Marjorie Eastman. Thank you for 3 minutes. I just wanted to say that I'm standing here today as a citizen, as your neighbor, and as someone who cares deeply about our town. And I respect each and every one of you for having the courage to run for public office and to serve, because that's hard. And I'm up here today because of all the things we're hearing in the news right now, and many people are concerned. I am getting nonstop messages and emails from my friends, my neighbors, my colleagues who are Republicans, Democrats, and unaffiliated. And it's not going to stop until there is full transparency and accountability. And I wanted to share with you that one of the books I read when I was a little girl that really stuck with me is this wonderful book. You might have heard of the author, John F. Kennedy. It's called Profiles in Courage. And so I would like to read this line. True democracy, living and growing and inspiring, puts its faith in people. Faith that people will not simply elect other people who will represent their views ably and faithfully, but also elect people who will exercise their conscientious judgment. We need courage, and Malcolm Gladwell said in several of his books that courage isn't something that just shows up when you need to be brave. Courage is something we all have earned when we've all been through tough times. And I learned that when I was in Afghanistan as a commander. I learned that when my baby was handed to me at 6 months old and they said he had cancer. We've all been through tough times, and we all have to make tough decisions. I'm praying for each and every one of you to have courage, to be the leader that I need you to be, that the town of Cary needs you to be, to have integrity as your North Star. And I too find it absolutely egregious that thousands and thousands of dollars was given to a council member when so many people are struggling with affordability. And then in the WRAL article today, it was clearly a blame shift. Oh, blame shifting to the town manager. Representatives and leaders have responsibility, and they need to take accountability and show some sense of remorse. I would just like for each of you to know, I'm praying for your courage. I'm praying for your integrity to do the right thing. And I believe that so many of you can do that.
Ms. Eastman, your time has expired.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Anyone else to speak if public speaks out?
There's someone.
Okay.
I don't think the mic is. Hold on.
Hold on just a second, make sure we get you on audio.
No.
No.
It should be on.
Hello?
That's it.
That makes it better for me. My name is Rebecca Lancer. I've been a Cary resident since October of 1996. And I also am just shocked at the behavior. And it's not right. I implore you to do the right thing. It shouldn't, you should be doing the right thing anyway, not when the sunlight hits. And there's a lot of people struggling, and it's just not right to do. So I'm just imploring you as a citizen to look. I'm really concerned that maybe there's stuff going on that hasn't had the light of day shined on it yet. How much of this is going on that we don't know about? My tax bill keeps going up, and it's making it very difficult to stay here. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for Public Speaks Out? Seeing no one, we'll close Public Speaks Out and move to the consent agenda, which is item 4. Excuse me. For the benefit of people watching our meeting streaming or on TV, I'll take a moment to review the consent agenda items. Please keep in mind that one vote approves all of these items. On the consent agenda, we have minutes, 2026 Advisory Board meeting schedule, 25A04, 1412 White Oak Church Road annexation, 25 REZ07, 1412 White Oak Church Road. That's a rezoning. 25 REZ09 Fairbanks Road rezoning. Would council members like any of these items pulled for discussion? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Discussion. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. We now move to public hearings. Our first and only public hearing is for 25A08, which is at 2220 Jones Franklin Road. Principal Planner Aaron Puckett will introduce the hearing. Council may take action on this item. Ms. Puckett.
Thank you, and good evening, Council. The owners of .67 acres of property located at 2220 Jones Franklin Road have petitioned Cary for annexation. This property is contiguous to Cary's corporate limits and is currently located within Cary's extraterritorial jurisdiction, or ETJ. It is zoned residential multifamily, RMF, and is developed with one non-conforming detached residential dwelling. The property owners are requesting annexation in order to connect Cary's utilities, specifically to access Cary water due to issues with their existing well. Following tonight's public hearing, council may take action. This concludes my presentation, and following the public hearing, I'm available for questions.
Thank you, Ms. Puckett. Now's time for the first, I'll call on the clerk for any written comments or any registered speakers.
No written comments and no registered speakers.
All right, so now's time for the public hearing for 25A08. And I would open the mic to anybody who would like to speak at this public hearing. Anyone to speak at this this annexation? All right, seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing, open it up to council members for questions, comments, or motion.
I'll make a motion to approve 25A08 for annexation.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Discussion. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Ms. Puckett.
Thank
We
you.
now move to discussion items. We have funding evaluation of Citizens Convenience Center location, and I'll call on Assistant Town Manager Shelley Kern for the presentation, and council may take action.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I am going to talk to you tonight about the Cary Citizens Convenience Center. The Cary Citizens Convenience Center opened in Cary in the early 1990s. It is located at 313 North Dixon Street in downtown Cary. Citizens can bring residential solid waste, recycling, and yard waste here for proper disposal. Some of the specific items that we take are mattresses, televisions, and furniture at this location. We have about 250 visitors that visit the Citizens Convenience Center each day, and we have 90,000 per year. The Cary Convenience Center is located adjacent to the North Carolina Railroad. The railroad right-of-way extends to the red dotted line that you see on the map here. So the railroad line is the purple, and then the dotted line is in between there. The red dotted line is the right-of-way. The highlighted portion there is our actual public facility, and that's the portion that the public uses. The portion that's dark there is our public portion that's actually in the railroad right-of-way. This fall, North Carolina Railroad actually came to us and notified us that they had received a federal grant to improve the rail corridor and would need full use of their property, including that right-of-way. The railroad has given us until the end of 2026 as a goal to remove everything that we have that's currently operating in the right-of-way. At our quarterly retreat, we discussed that we would issue a request to find a firm to help evaluate options for moving operations within the right-of-way. We received 2 responses and have selected a firm that specializes in designing convenience centers. Staff's approach is to break this out into break the process out into multiple stages. So the first stage would be to have the consultant develop options so that we can better understand the logistics and cost associated with moving our operations. Once this phase is complete, we would then come back to you with these potential options and costs associated with the next steps. So council, we are recommending that you utilize up to $40,000 of funding budgeted within the general fund for mid-year appropriation to evaluate options for the future of the Citizens Convenience Center. If you authorize this, we would plan to come back to you in early 2026 with options for the next steps. I'm happy to answer any questions that I can or entertain questions.
So we're going to evaluate and then assume we get an approval of something, design and implement all in 12 months? That seems like an impossibility.
We will do our best to get our operations out of the right-of-way by the time frame they need us to, and if the council decides to move it somewhere else, or once we have our options of what we can do, we will work to make it happen as fast as possible so that we can have as little downtime as we possibly can.
And so a follow-up on that, if we show good faith, and I know I'm asking you to guess, we have everything lined up, we just run out of time, do you think the railroad will let us extend?
I am not going to speak for the railroad, but in my experience, they typically have, if they have a federal grant, they typically have a timeline that they're working on.
So
I'm not sure that they would have a lot of flexibility,
Okay, so
but
they're
I would
working
have
on
to.
the deadline. Got it.
We'll keep trying.
We would certainly keep trying, yes.
Okay. Council?
That was my primary question, like, maybe they'll give us a little, so just to manage citizen expectations, I've been asked about this a couple of times. I was surprised how much the Citizen Convenience Center was of interest to a lot of people, but we are going to endeavor to find a solution, but to manage expectations, there may be a gap between when the current facility is no longer open and whatever we end up doing later is open. That's all what we all expect, yes? That it's
I think that's a reasonable
a
expectation.
reasonable expectation. I just wanted to make sure, because that's what I've been guessing at, but I didn't want it to be my sole singular guess, and, yeah.
Yeah, and until we come back to you with options, that's this first phase, like once we have the options and we have a plan, I think we'll have a better idea of what the timeline would be for moving forward, and we'll have a better estimate. But the chances of everything being done in that, I think it's reasonable to think that it might be closed for a little while.
A little bit. I'll stop guessing, and I'll stop asking you to guess, too.
Shelley, I'll reconfirm my understanding.
Sure.
Just want to be sure. So what we are doing right now is, we don't have an option to stay there. We have to move out.
So what we're going to ask the consultant to do is look at, so you can see on, well, I'm not going to try to go backwards. There's not a lot of space. Like, we utilize the entire site right now. Thank you. We utilize the entire site for some of our operations. So we would have the consultant look at it to see if there's any possibility of staying on, like moving the services onto that site and just moving it out of the right-of-way. And that's one of the options we would look at and bring back to you. And it might be that there's certain services we can keep doing, or there might be different options. We'll have them look and see if there's another site that we can have that's somewhat close.
So there's a possibility that we don't vacate this location 100%. We
The
might
only
just
thing-
semi-utilize it, right?
The only thing I can tell you for sure is that we have to be out of that right-of-way.
Okay.
And the rest of it, I'm not sure yet.
Okay, so that is, so the money that we're allocating is to understand what are we going to do with the site? Sorry, that part is not clear.
Sure. So what the money would do is we would have the consultant look at our operations and figure out, could we stay at this site? Like, I mean, one of the options might be that it closes, or that we stay at this site, or is there another site that we could move it to? That's what the $40,000 would authorize them to look at that. It is not for them to do a design. It is just for them to look at the feasibility of what we could possibly do. And then we will come back to you and say, okay, these are the options that we think are feasible. And from that point, if you all decide that we're going to move forward with one of those options, we would do the next step for that option. It might be designing something, and then obviously if there was construction, or it'll just be up to you all and what you want to do.
And so you know the cost of each option at that point.
Yes, because there will be a cost for each phase. Thank you, Russ.
So I don't want to get in the weeds, but I got to ask the question. So I have been there, and this is how you get out.
Right.
So you've lost the exit, and I'm looking to the northwest. What is that? To the northwest, I'm hoping there's hope. That you could
Like
go
to the left?
to the corner of the screen.
Can we enter and exit out of that?
Top left corner of the
You
screen.
cannot exit from there. There's only one way in and out. If
Okay.
you have specific questions, Jimmy Simpson from Public Works may.
Yeah, Jimmy can.
Because that's downhill, right?
Yeah, that's
That's
a
where you
big,
turn
great
around.
separation when you come out.
And I think, Shelley, this was the same project where Jennifer recommended that if in future there's a railroad, we do something nice so that, this will be a point where people will be able to see. Is that the same one, right?
I think that's what.
Yeah, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that was a comment for the whole rail line anywhere we do something. I don't know really what the view is right now because it's a convenience center.
Right. No, that makes sense.
Mr. Simpson, got anything to?
Mr. Mayor, I believe the question that you're asking in the northwest corner there is the yard waste pile is what is surrounded by the yellow.
Right.
And then to the northwest farther of that is more of our storage. We own that, and it goes, I believe, to Madison on the backside that we own, but there's no outlet that way.
Okay.
There's not currently an outlet?
There's not
Or
currently-
there cannot be an outlet?
That I can't speak to. If there could be, there's a cul-de-sac residential through there.
If it was that simple, somebody would have already said, we just need to move the egress, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Russ.
And we
Thank you,
can
Mr.
certainly ask our consultant to look at that.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
When do we anticipate having options?
I hope in January.
Okay.
That's the plan.
Thank you.
Other questions?
So when you said Q1 2026, you meant
Calendar.
calendar year 2026?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. And if we know that no matter what, we have to move out of there, is there actually equipment there now, or is that just the access road? So can
There
we
is
start
equipment.
that work? Can we start that work so that we're not,
You would have to allocate funding to start that work that we haven't discussed with you yet.
okay.
And the consultant is really, they do this a lot. So they're very qualified for this, and I feel confident that they'll be able to look at it very quickly and tell us what we can do in the most cost-effective, shortest amount of time, but it will come with cost options for all of you on what you decide to do.
Thank you.
And Shelley, does the scope of the evaluation, would it propose specific sites as an alternative to move to? No, just the notion of moving it.
No, and one thing what we would like to do is try to keep it near downtown. So there's not a ton of options, but we would ask them to just look at options.
Any other questions? Are we ready for a motion? Don't be shy.
Do we have verbiage?
I make a motion that council authorize staff to utilize up to $40,000 of funding from the general fund as a mid-year appropriation to evaluate options for the future of the Citizens Convenience Center.
I second that.
There's a motion and a second. Discussion. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. I would now entertain a motion to go into closed session.
I can put the motion.
Okay?
Pursuant to GS 143-318.11A1, 3 and 6, I move that we hold a closed session to consult with attorneys employed by and/or retained by the town in order to preserve the attorney-client privilege between the attorneys and the town, prevent the disclosure of information that is made privileged or confidential pursuant to the laws of the state, including GS 143-318.10E, are not considered a public record within the meaning of Chapter 132 of the General Statutes. Consider the qualification, competence, performance, character, fitness, conditions of appointment, or conditions of initial employment of one or more individual, public officers, or employees.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Discussion. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously, and council will go into closed session.